Hey, YouTube. All right, so I'm gonna try this different setting. I keep trying to figure out how to get this light and the sound and everything right. So now I'm gonna try something different. So bear with me. I'm here to talk about Greenleaf. Greenleaf is season 2, episode 7. Okay, this episode starts out with Grace having a nightmare. This is the anniversary of Faith's suicide, or Faith's death. Okay, that's the premise of this whole episode. All right, she wakes up in a nightmare. She's dreaming that Mac is driving her somewhere towards this field, this lake on their property, where it happened. She wakes up, of course, distraught. Then, okay, so next thing is Mac calls May. Mac calls May on the eve of the anniversary. Okay. Of course, May is very upset. You know, they don't really go into the mind of this child molester. It's strange that today I did a video on this Atkins situation where he got sentenced to life in prison for child molestation. But I don't know what goes on in the mind of Mac. You know, Mac calls the family on the eve of this the anniversary of the death. He actually wants to attend the services. So I don't know if he feels like the situation with Faith was somehow mutual, like they had a love affair or something, or I don't know. I'm not clear of how he sees it, because he don't see himself as being guilty of anything. So what is the inner workings of the minds of a molester? It's a strange mystery. And also, I wish they would go more into what happened to Faith. I mean, did she run away when she was still a child? In the early episodes, they told us about that she had become promiscuous, and apparently she was doing drugs. But they haven't even mentioned the drugs since then, or what happened to her. So I wish they would go more into that. This is a very well done series. You know, I like all the cinematography and everything, and the way that they roll out the story. But it's like they bring everything that happened to Faith on the molestation. In the eyes of, at least of Grace, it was all about the molestation. But what else happened? You know, how did she end up in this despair? Was it because she kept thinking about the molestation, or things had just progressed to that point of her death? Myself, I was a black sheep of the family. I ended up on drugs and so forth, but I don't think it had anything to do with my molestation. So I wish they would go more into that. But okay, there's that. Okay, next, a prosecutor visits Faith. This is someone who worked on Matt's case, and she said the case is now dead, it's closed. But she hints that there was another girl. Of course, Faith is very upset because they're not going to pursue Matt anymore. As it turns out, Matt paid off the judge, but we'll get to that. This prosecutor comes to tell her that the case is closed. They don't want to pursue it, but there is a girl. Now, we met the girl who lived in Mac's old apartment building. The little girl was coming over to his house. They're so mysterious. I wish they wouldn't play around with this child molestation thing. It was a serious subject. But there was a little girl, I think she was a biracial girl, that lived in the building where Matt used to live. Maybe she's a white girl. Not clear. Anyway, this prosecutor tells Faith about her. She can't say directly, go check out this girl, but she's saying that this is a possible witness. If they can get a witness against Matt, they could reopen it. So Grace goes to the building where he used to live. She has the information and tries to get in to see this girl. Now, the security guard, or the concierge, or the security, or whatever, the woman at the front desk, will not give her the information initially, but after she tells After Grace tells her what she's there and that she's suspicious of this man, that he might be a child molester, the girl breaks down and gives her the information. Okay, so Grace waits for the girl to come home, and eventually she gets her to talk. But the girl's not saying much. Now, this is what I'm saying is such a mystery about, is he actually touching it? We don't see him actually molesting anybody. But does the girl think she's in some kind of relationship with Mac? Has he won her trust? It's just so vague, particularly with this victim. Now, there have been other victims who have said he molested them. We don't know what the relationship with this girl is, but she could actually, in her mind, think she's in love with him or something. Is the way they're presenting it. They're trying to be delicate with this, but I guess they'll save it for the next episode. The next episode is the season finale. So the half season finale. So they're doing like Empire. They're having half the episodes, then a break in between, and then they're going to continue later. Because this is only episode 8 next week. So this is episode 7. Right? Okay, there's all that. Faith goes to visit the girl. That's what we get. The girl tells her nothing. She says he was always a nice man. So she don't get anything from that. Immediately after meeting with Grace, however, she calls Matt and tells him that the woman was there to visit her, and he instantly knows who it was and what she was asking about. So why would this girl be covering for him? We don't know that. Okay, she's from a broken home. Her mother's dysfunctional, and maybe she learned to lean on this guy. Or nothing could have happened. We don't know. Okay. Bassy's Gangs needs money. Okay. During this construction of this new church, Bassy's Gangs, who I think is just the oiliest little character in the show, he needs money. Now, he tells Jacob there's going to be another big game. He's a professional gambler. Before he won stacks of money and donated to the church, for this building fund under this mysterious name. But he generally wins, right? So he's planning this big game. Next, we get a scene of Kevin and Charity. They're at the lawyers, and they are divorced. Divorce is final. They sign the papers. It's a done deal. Okay. He said, "So you're happy now?" So he never wanted the divorce. She did. She pushed it. She still loves him. She still cares about him. But she just feels like the situation was hopeless. So they split. It's over. Okay, Grace tracks down the young lady. I told you that nothing came from her meeting with the girl so far. But why would they put her in the script at all if nothing was going to happen from her? So maybe she'll get jealous when she finds out Matt is living with this grown woman and decide to talk. We don't know. There's all kind of possibilities of what could happen in the next episode. And hopefully they're not going to leave everything until the next season or when they start again. They need to wrap up some of these storylines right away. But at least Kevin and Charity, that's the done deal. Okay. Next thing we see the deputy mayor, who's a black guy, meeting with Mac in the park, and he's disgusted by Mac for one thing. I mean, they're not friendly at all. But Mac gives him a big stack of money. Okay, so this is to go to the judge. So it's crooked. Mac is paying off the judge to drop the case against him. Then Mac has the nerve to ask this deputy mayor for a job because he said all the money he had saved is in that envelope. So in other words, he's broke and he needs a job. First the man balks, of course not, and then Matt has something on him, so he threatens him with some kind of information that he could use against him. So he said, okay, let's see what he can do. Okay, and then we move to the game, right? Yeah, we go to this game. The deputy mayor is a part of this big poker game where Bassy's gangs is sure he's going to go and clean up. Now, these people are betting thousands of dollars. They're having $10,000 hands and so forth. So they're a big stack. There's a lot of money involved. Okay, Bassy goes in with his arrogant self, figuring he's going to fleece these people for the money he needs to continue building his church. Well, he loses. He loses big time. He's winning. Gets to the last hand, bets. I think the bet is $100,000. He bets and loses all of the money, church's money. Later, Jacob asked him, tell me something. Was that the church's money? So, I thought he was going to end up cheating and the people were going to kill him or something. So we got to get rid of Bassy's gangs. You know, he's the villain. But I figured that's the way it would end. But it looks like we're just seeing what happens when people gamble. Most gamblers do not win. They may win, but eventually they're going to lose. And usually they lose whatever they won up to that point. And so he's not taking it well either. It was a major loss right at the time where they actually need money. So not only has he not gotten the money they need, he's lost the money they had. All right, so as they're going into this game, I got a little ahead of myself. As they're going into this game, the deputy mayor pulls Jacob to the side to tell him that Matt wants a job, that Matt has approached him about a job, and he thought about giving him something. And that, not a big job, but something he can do, make some money. Jacob tells him, no, don't do that. Don't do it. So the man says, well, you can't tell me I can't do it. I'll just give him a simple little job. And Jacob, we see the dark side of Jacob, grabs him in his collar and slams him into a wall and tells him, you're not paying attention. No, you will not give him a job. If you even piss on him, you see him on fire, I'm coming here to take your head off. It's like that. The little deputy mayor, he's kind of cowardly. First he backs down off of Matt for information. Now Jacob then grabs him in the collar. Okay, so he tells him, you're not going to give him a job. My sister killed herself over this fool. All right. Next thing, of course, now Grace comes home. She's tired. She's worn out. She's stressed out. She wasn't successful with this young girl to get her to talk. And Lady Mae and the bishop are in the house. They're going through pictures of Faith. Lady Mae, it seems like she should be the one that most tore up of all people. But she, I don't know, she lives in some other zone. She has no problem looking at the pictures. That's not disturbing to her at all. And she very rarely says anything about the suicide or the molestation. She just chooses to keep dark things dark, I guess. Anyway, she tells Grace that she's coming in to come and look at the pictures with them. And Grace says, no, I don't want to see the pictures. It's too much for me. I don't want to see them. Okay, Lady Mae goes off on Grace, and she goes off on her again. Now, as far as I'm concerned, Greenleaf, you have failed to let us know, unless you want to save it all to the last episode. You have not told her why this woman hates her daughter so much, because she seems to genuinely hate her. She tells her that every problem you have, you brought on to yourself, and I mean, she never gives this girl a break. I've never seen any affection. And Grace holds back because, generally speaking, she still calls her mama not bitch. And she still, I guess the word is demurs to her, respectful of her. But this woman seems to absolutely hate Grace. She can't do anything right by her. So she tells her, anyway, she goes off on her. Grace has one prize. I wrote it down. Where's it at? Grace has one line that shuts up Lady Mae in her rant. Mama, what have you ever never endured? All right, Lady May's had a pretty easy life, pretty good life. But she asked her that, and that shuts her down. What have you ever endured? So apparently, anyway, it's in reference to all the things that everyone else in his family has gone through and had to suffer through in silence. Okay, Bassy loses a whole lot of money. Okay. All right, now Mac has got a girlfriend. This girl, she got a uniform on. I don't know if she's a maid in the building. He's in some kind of a small apartment, but she wears a uniform. Anyway, she seems to be really into him. I don't know if it's the same girl that Grace caught her in the car with him or not. Light-skinned woman. She's supportive of him, and she doesn't believe that he did the things he was accused of. Okay, so she walks in and he's reading the text message. So she asked him, excuse me. She asked him, who was that? And he said, oh, it's just my niece. And so she takes the phone she don't believe him. She takes the phone from him and looks at the message. And she wants to know who that was. And he says it is his niece, Grace's daughter. Now let me say this. If this man is communicating with Sophia, Grace's daughter, she will kill him. If she had any inkling that that man had communicated with her daughter, she would kill him. That would be the season finale. So he says that Sophia's text, but it could be this other girl, the one who we think was molesting him. Because I remember the girl did drink alcohol in the room with him and everything. It wasn't clear, but he better hope it wasn't Sophia he was talking to, getting private text from. That would be a murder. All right. So there's a tender moment between Kevin and Aaron. They share a moment. Aaron is in there watching football, and Kevin comes to his door. He's holding a baby. Now nothing is blatant here, but he comes in. You want to watch the game with me? Comes in, and there's energy. I'll just say it like that. Their eyes never meet. When one looks away, the other one's looking at him. The other one looks away, he's looking at him. Like the baby's not looking. But they try to be classy with it. But there's definitely energy between those two. I thought it was a good moment. It was well acted out. Also, their acting was on point. I thought in that particular scene, so I liked it. I guess that's gonna be his boyfriend. I guess that's how we'll spend next half a season, because they don't have time to wrap that up. I hope they wouldn't do it all in one episode. Pull one of those empires on us. All right. So the last thing that happens is Mac sends flowers to the house. When Grace opens the card to see who the flowers are from, she goes off. She didn't verbalize anything. She heads for her car and speeds off. So that's how they left it. She's going after Mac. All right. Only on a side note, I see how these characters have really changed, because when we first started the series, remember how Jacob was a serial cheater? He was having an affair with someone and had been cheating several times. This is where all the problems started with his father. Initially, the problem was that he was a cheater, unworthy of the office of a minister. They seem to be getting along well, and she started off with a very strong role. They lowered her role, because in the beginning, Jacob's wife, is her name Isabella? Whatever Jacob's wife was, she had a much stronger role. She was the witch of the series. But now their marriage has kind of gotten on track, where there's no indication that he's cheating at all. He's very tied up with this church situation with Bassy Skanks. And my only other note was I wish they would tell us what exactly happened with Faith. We know he molested her when she was a child, and then we know she committed suicide as a grown woman. But we don't know what happened. Not really. In one episode, I remember, they intimated that she was a drug addict. But they never pursued it. So, anyway, maybe some of this will get wrapped up next week for this season break finale, what you call it. We'll see. Okay, see you next week. That was Greenleaf.